being the land of the free. But if you really check it, you will see that for over 400 years, America has been pretending and to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. So why I like Trump is not because I think he's a good person. I like Trump because he's shaking the tree so that those people who thought that America was the land of the free can now see the thing for what it really is. Because when you talk, let's talk about democracy for a little bit, because we're gonna go into a few different areas. Talk about democracy for a little bit. They say that America, so-called United States of America, is a democracy. But what is a democracy? A democracy is when, like India, I would say is a democracy, and the reason is if you check certain things, you would see like 6 or 7 parties can be running for the presidency. But what America do is give you a false impression of being a democracy, where the only 2 party is running all the time, and the 2 party is 2 sides of the same coin. So what they do is monopolize and manipulate the election, so one or the other win. Any third party or any independent person do not have a chance. So I was listening to Obama recently speaking after him saying break him silence, and you will hear in there, if you listen good, you will hear in there where he mentioned that they had a policy where both parties come to agreement that they will do certain things a certain way, and that's been the policy for eons. So now this man come along and exposing the whole hypocrisy, so that people are now seeing that this country that's been running the world for so long and saying people are free and making up laws for others, people are now seeing that what they normally do is say the thing in secret or do the thing in secret, not publicly. But what this man is doing is whatever they normally said in a private room, and both party collaborate and put the thing into action, like removing governments with the AID and creating coups and starting wars and stuff like that, and dictate to others the American policy. So what this man is doing now is saying it publicly, out loud, on live TV, the things they normally say privately. And that give some people who say or who thought that these people was their allies. No, it let them realize that it's been like that for a long time, but it's not been said publicly. So they have to now re-strategize and change their policies towards having one country ruling the rest of the world. What happened is if you check it, America do not want any other country to rise to the level of America or even surpass America. So what they've been doing for years is they've been penalizing, making moves to keep other countries down. Countries like China, countries like India, countries like even Brazil, which is a big a country, and the rest of South America, who could surpass the American chokehold if they've been given the right government to govern the people for progress. Like I said before, South America, if they had given a chance to unite, because they already speak the same language, you would see a difference. They wouldn't have to be crossing the borders, running away from their home to go to America to start a so-called new life, because they have got all the resources to be as productive as America and as successful as America. Is because they've not been given that chance to unite themselves, since they speak the same language already, and create policies, economic policies, and do not have outside governments like America to intervene and interfere with their progress. So I wanted to talk to you this morning here. I'm going for my morning walk, but I wanted somebody who asked the question, why do you like Trump? So I wanted to explain that it's not liking Trump. If you see the chaos that happened, that is happening in front of our eyes, that is unfolding, no one in their right mind could say they like Trump, especially somebody melanated. But it's only because he is someone that come to deal in this 21st century to open the eyes of people, like-minded people. The things that he's doing, I repeat, is things that they always done, but they done it in a private room and in a private way, removing governments, making economical policy, making trade policy to suit themselves, and everyone else should stay behind, and they move forward. So when they come to you to negotiate a deal, they don't come as equal partners. They come as rulers and conquerors. And these two parties, the Republican and the Democrat, I repeat, is two sides of the same coin. Listen to Obama talk about this bit, and then we'll come back and have a wrap up.
At least for most of my lifetime, let's say the post-World War II era, there was a broad consensus between Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals, around a certain set of rules where we settle our differences. Right? That there are some bonds that transcend party or region or ideology. That there was a creed that we all stuck to. And that basic notion of American democracy.
Now you see what I mean. What he's saying there, he's saying for years the two parties have agreed to do a certain things a certain way. So now this guy come along and he's doing things a little bit different, but not just different. He's doing things disorderly. Because if it was in an orderly way, they probably would not say anything. They would leave it. Let's say he's the president, and let's say he's doing these things that the man Trump is doing now, as who he say he is, or how he looks. Would the American people be as quiet as they are now? I know they're making some noise, but would the American people be as quiet as they are now? No, he could not do what this man is doing. No way. He would not be allowed to do it. The media would be in a frenzy. The country would be at war, so to speak. They would be black people on the street because of something that the president have done. So I'm just showing you that it's not just the government that act in a certain way. The American people, some of them, the American people, they stand by for years and watch slavery and other things. America ravish black people, enslave people for so many years, and after 400 years of enslavement, they also shooting down people on the streets. What George Floyd, before George Floyd, whole heap of things, but they stand back and watch, do nothing. So now this guy come along and doing something, and I like what he's doing, because that show the rest of the world that this country are these people who say they're for peace, and say they're for love, and say they're for freedom. And say they're for rights, and say they're for rights of speech, that you have freedom. A whole heap of things I hear them talk about different type of freedoms that people have, and this is the way they act. So the next time you listen to the so-called America, who say they're the land of the free and home of brave, and people who follow international rules and international laws, they violate every single international laws there is. Them and Israel, those two countries, or two of the countries who over a period of time violate international law. the rules do not apply. If you look today what they're doing in Israel and what they're doing to the Palestinian people, if you also look and see what America is doing to the Houthis or to the people of that country, they're actually doing the same thing that Israel is doing. They could stop this long time, but they choose not to. And now they want to talk to Russia and make a deal. But Russia know who they are. That's why they've not gotten a deal so far. Because President Putin and the Russian regime feel the hands of them over the years. What them did to Ukraine is horrendous. What they do to Zelensky is something that should be written in a book. They goad Zelensky, help him to start a war that they know him can't win without them giving him weapons and manpower, and then pull away the weapon and manpower after him start the war, so that now they can put him in a corner and said, sign a deal where you give me a part of your country to dig out rare earth. This is a way how they use them war to colonize people. After signing this deal, I'm telling you that if Zelensky signed this deal, it's like agreeing to be colonized or to be ruled by outside influence. Well, they have been ruled by outside influence. They're the one, not me say, but they're the one who create the whole atmosphere for war. And once the atmosphere for war start, like Jeffrey Sachs was saying, is they create the atmosphere for war. They goad him into starting. Let me give you an example. If Russia said no NATO so close to the border, if that was the other way around, I'm telling you that America would not accept. Would America accept Russian base in Cuba? No. Would America accept Russian base in Mexico? Cold War, when Cuba not side with Russia but agree with the Soviet Union in terms of their policies and wanted to work with them. And for all these years, up till today, Cuba is still seen as a terrorist state. If you check it, Cuba is still been classified as a terrorist state and been sanctioned.
Use Haiti as a pawn because they have suffered for too long and by the hands of too many. I return now to the issue of Cuba. That Cuba can help so many in this world and yet be the continued victim of a blockade of over 60 years, but worse than that, a designation as a state sponsor of terrorism is wrong.
Biden must have removed the sanction before he left, and as soon as Trump come back, he put the sanction back. So I'm telling you that it's not to say you like the guy, but in terms of what he's doing to shine light into the darkness so that these cockroaches can start running about. Yeah, so thank you for listening to me this long. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Take care. According to the thing, people are not subscribed. Please subscribe. And the subscription